This is Secret Stories, and my name is Mary Kachapalya. Many people cannot be on camera because their employer, their family, their friends, their church or synagogue would roll their eyes, ridicule, misunderstand, or even fire them. And now we even have the added stress of being heckled on social media. Well, Secret Stories shields you and allows you to tell your story with anonymity. Thank you for valuing what we do, and thank you for the support that makes breaking the silence possible. Donna has sent several emails, and these are the beginning of her story. For a couple of summers after my dad's plane crash, we're all trying to get back some kind of norm into our lives. The school year ended, and I had graduated middle school. Lots to look forward to. My friend Kathy and a few of her siblings were playing Star Trek at dusk, pointing out phasers at imagined alien invaders. That's when I noticed this light, and I fixed my imaginary weapon on it. Then I saw it was moving, but not like a regular plane. I said, "Hey guys, this is weird, but what's that?" pointing the odd light out. And like most people, they just brushed it off. That night, we were having a sleepover at their house, camping in the backyard in a pup tent. It was Kathy, her sister Carolyn, who was a year younger than us, and their little sister Judy, and her friend that was 7. Kathy says to me, "Donna, there's not enough room for all of us, and is our tent, so you'll have to sleep with the top part of your body out of the tent." I wasn't happy about it, especially since it was my first experience camping. So I got in my sleeping bag and drifted off quickly. I didn't know what time it was, but I awakened by a loud noise that sounded like a jumbo jet at the airport preparing to take off. I thought, what was that? I tried to open my eyes to find that they were glued shut. I panicked. I never experienced a problem like that before, and I found a dry, thick substance on my eyelids, sealing them shut. I had to pry them open, and that's when I got the biggest shock. There, directly above me, was this craft that was triangular, like an upside-down three-pointed pyramid, but flatter than a pyramid. It was a shiny silver metal with no seams. I could see the reflection of the tent and myself in it. Each point of the pyramid had a different colored light. One was green, yellow, and blue, and in the center was a red one. I looked around thinking, I can't believe what I'm seeing, and checked around to see how many others might be witnessing this, and I saw that I was the only one. I dove into the tent, shaking my friends and begging them to wake up and come look. They asked, "What's that noise?" So we all jumped out, witnessing it fly halfway to space, and in a second it was gone. I frantically told them how scared I was and explained close up what I saw and how I couldn't believe no one else woke up. We looked up at her parents' bedroom in the window to notice both her parents standing like zombies, just staring straight ahead. Kathy said, "Okay, that's weird. Let's go ask them what's going on." So we ran into the house and up the stairs to her parents' room. She opened the door and called to her mom, who was in bed and just woke up by us. So Kathy said, "I can't figure this out, but if we say anything, they won't believe us." After this happened, I never stayed there again. Some safe haven, huh? This was in 1974. When summer was over, we started high school. Our English teacher asked us to write an essay about what we did over the summer. I thought this was a perfect time to reveal what I witnessed and warn my classmates and neighbors to be more aware of it. Of course, I wish I would have thought better of it before I submitted my essay, not knowing we'd be expected to read it out loud in front of the whole class. And if you're thinking, "Oh no," you'd be right. I was called crazy and they laughed at me. My teacher was very accepting, telling my classmates that I was obviously traumatized by the incident and they should be more considerate. It was kind of him, but the damage was done. I was so alone. My neighbors and friends claimed not to remember anything, and I couldn't tell my mom, considering how she already voiced her opinion about my memories. Unfortunately, I kept having horrifying dreams about a spacecraft being at my bedroom window, and I knew they were coming for me, and I'd hide in the closet, and when they found me, I would wake up all sweaty and terrified. I already had a hard time sleeping because of the poltergeist activity. Needless to say, I would often fall asleep in class. The last time it happened, my math teacher was waking me, saying, "Donna, Donna." And when I woke up, he asked, "Why are you falling asleep in class?" And I snapped and said, "My house is severely haunted, and this is the only time I get to sleep." He looked at me with wide eyes and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Go back to sleep." About 6 months later, we had an incident at home where an object flew from a cupboard about 5 feet in the air, about 25 feet to our sliding glass window, and just dropped. It just missed hitting my little sister in the head. My mom said that she had had enough and didn't want to involve the church, but would find a way to get rid of this evil entity. She did join the Abundant Light Foundation and was taught spirituality rather than religion. She was shown how to use God's power to defeat this. By summer, she felt strong enough and did a crossing ritual, which entailed going to every corner of the house with a white candle and recited the Lord's Prayer. After doing that, everything scary seemed to stop. Finally, I could get some sleep. I felt much more confident to reveal my story to my mom. She told me she saw a UFO when we lived in Monterey Park early in the morning. At first, she thought it was the sun rising, till it came into better view, revealing a cigar shaped craft. She urged me to consider reporting it to MUFON. Let's move forward now to when I was a young adult, had already graduated high school, and had a job. Everything was still fairly calm at home, but I still had dreams of hearing a helicopter outside my bedroom window. Only now would I venture outside to make sure, and then they would turn into UFOs of various shapes and sizes with very bright lights. I never could see the aliens. They would always be just out of view, or I would be in a fog. I was making more of a connection with my mom, and sometimes after work or on a weekend, we would go for a drive to the Huntington Pier and promenade just to get out for a walk. One night, as we headed toward the pier, which was about 5 miles from home, I looked northwest as we traveled on Beach Boulevard. I saw a flashing light that was zipping around in an abnormal way for a plane. I asked Mom, "You want to see a UFO?" She said yes, so I pointed it out to her. Then, to our amazement, it headed toward the ocean and dove straight down. We assumed into the water. She was in shock, saying, "Did that just head down toward the water?" She couldn't wait to see more. It always seemed to be when we were driving, and same scenario, only sometimes there were more than one, and they either went straight down or to the horizon of the ocean. When I was 18, my mom said maybe I should buy a camera so that I could take good pictures, and offered to take me to Kmart to see what they had. I agreed. On the way, I kept getting the feeling that I was being followed and could swear I saw this same old truck with a camper on it that I noticed earlier on the way home from work. I told my mom and she said, "Oh, Donna, don't get paranoid. No one's following you. There are a lot of trucks that look just like that." So I brushed it off. When we went inside, we headed straight for the camera department. As we were looking in the glass counter and talking about which one I should buy, someone tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around to see a man who was maybe in his 40s, balding and totally sunburned. The thing that sent me into panic mode was it was the middle of the summer, and this guy is wearing a thick black policeman's jacket like they wear in the winter. He had jeans on and shiny black shoes. I stepped away from the counter, and my mom joined me. He motioned to me with his finger to come closer, like to whisper something to me. I said, "Can I help you?" He grinned and said, "You know what you do with those, don't you?" Then my mom says, "I know what she's going to do with," and I stopped her. Then he pulls his wallet out and tells me he takes pictures of UFOs and would I like to join him. I was in shock. This was like 1980, and I thought this wasn't something you'd just bring up to a stranger. My mom insisted he show us his pictures of the UFOs that he had taken, and he kind of mutters softly. I grabbed my mom and pulled her away from him and said, "Mom, what's wrong with you? This is not a normal thing to happen. You've heard of Men in Black. Why the heck is he dressed like that? You're going to get us killed." I told you that I felt like I was being watched. We turned around to find that he had just vanished. We walked around the entire store, and that man was nowhere. My mom and I both questioned, "What just happened?" I told her, I think I'm going to take a hint, and I'm not going to be taking pictures of UFOs." With that, we headed home. Thank you, Donna, for your account. I also know the area well. My daughters were both brought up in Huntington Beach. And thank you for sharing your experiences with us as well. It takes guts to share your experience, and when you feel ready, I will share your story for you. This is Mary Kachapalia. May love and light be with you.